Game Over 86 coming back with another video. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to be talking about the anticipating E3 and what Microsoft will be doing, I believe, coming up in June. And what they're going to be announcing, games, systems, and stuff going forward, especially with their service like Game Pass or even their subscription service for online like Xbox Games with Gold. Going forward, just talking about what all is going to be going on with the Xbox brand. And I think going forward with the past videos that I talked about with their new controller that possibly has been leaked. It hasn't been official from Xbox yet as of shooting this video, but, you know, them helping the blind, the disability controller, the Game Pass, you know, games going to Nintendo, other services like cell phones or you know, devices like cell phones or tablets, even PC, they're getting their games. You know, it's just, there's a lot of things that I think Microsoft's doing right going forward, and there's a lot of stuff that they still need to work on, that being games, not only immersive and story-driven and online, and also well done and put together and not unfinished, like a Sea of Thieves was when it released, or a State of Decay 2, or even a Crackdown 3. You know, there was a lot of excitement for some of these games, and then just, you know, disappointment, I believe, for the majority of the people that played these games, myself included. I was expecting something crazier, and then it was like, okay, it seems like a smaller AA game. But you know, this is not a knock on Xbox. This is going to be a good E3, I think, prediction video. And I think the first things that Xbox is going to talk about are their new console, Xbox Scarlet, Xbox Anaconda, Xbox 2, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call it the Xbox 2 because I think that's what eventually it'll be, you know, called. And I think that the console is going to be a good powerhouse console. I think there's going to be multiple versions of a console for the Xbox brand. And I was starting to think, you know, that with the all-digital Xbox, I thought they should have waited. I think they should have waited to release something like this with the Xbox 2, and I'll go into detail about some of this stuff. But as far as E3 goes, the Xbox Scarlet or Anaconda or Xbox 2 or whatever you guys would like to call it, I think there's going to be two versions of that one as well. I think there's going to be a high-powered one that's going to be around $500-$600 maybe. I don't think it's going to... the highest price one's going to be right around with the PlayStation 5. And if reports are going with the PlayStation 5 price, possibly $500. So then the smaller version would be $400, maybe $300. And then I still think that they're going to announce another digital system console for next-gen's hardware. And it'll be around $150, maybe $200. If it was me, I would definitely be trying to push that $150 mark, especially when you have consoles that may be two different versions, one being $300 or $400, and then the other one being $500 or maybe even more. Now, I think they're also going to be talking about big heavy hitters. We're talking their main franchise games. I think we all know that Gears 5 is going to be talked about. We know Halo Infinite is probably going to be talked about a little bit more. I think a lot of people were anticipating these games possibly getting an announced date. I think a lot of them are going to be announced for the end of this generation, or they may announce it for the, you know, new generation Xbox, and that being Halo Infinite. I think Gears and everything's coming. Halo Infinite, we don't know if it's coming to the Xbox One. If I had to guess, I think it's going to be more of a launch title, especially if Sony has the one-year exclusivity to Final Fantasy VII, which we will know more from Square Enix at E3, but that's for a different time, for a different video. So the games that we got lined up are Ori and The Will of the Wisp. I've played the Blind Force. It's pretty good. I think it's a really good platformer, and we think that they're going to be announcing that one. I went on to state, you know, what Xbox games, what anticipated games back in January of this year possibly being announced and released. We know Gears Tactics is going to be like a PC game. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like Halo Wars in a way. There's like Funko Pop kind of Gears Pop or whatever. It's more of a kid-friendly, maybe Gears of War. From what it looks like, they're probably going to be talking a little bit about that. They're going to be talking about Battletoads, which is, I really like Battletoads growing up. I know some people don't, but you know, from its, you know, difficulty in the NES versions and stuff. But I like the Battletoads. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do this. I would like to hear a little bit more about some rare old school games possibly coming. but we will get into that at the end of the video. And there's so many other features that I think Xbox is going to talk about with the games. You know, the heavy hitters, like I just stated. Obviously, they're going to talk about a Fable possibly in their makes. They may even bring back Scalebound. Who even knows at this point? There's a lot of excitement around Xbox Division right now because of some of the games that they have been talking about. Now, I know a lot of people, and myself included, have said, oh, they've always lived off of Halo, Gears, Forza, and whatnot. But I honestly think that they're really going to start putting their foot down when it comes to some of their mainline games. And I think they're saving a lot of them games for an E3 event to push for the Xbox 2 or for the future going forward, leading into next gen, so you can just kind of roll over to it. I think they're going to announce that the Xbox 2 will obviously be backwards compatible. I think every console that they make here on out will be backwards compatible with the Xbox One and Xbox 360 and Xbox OG. Now, going forward, though, with their services, I think Xbox Live will be a little bit, obviously they're changing the price, but I think they're going to talk a little bit more about that with Game Pass. Now, staying with Xbox Games with Gold, I think it's one of the better versions of it. PlayStation Plus used to have a pretty good thing. A lot of their games lately in the last few months have been lackluster. Xbox has been on the ball with their Xbox Games with Gold. They're not all the greatest. You know, there's a Golf Club, there's a Marooners, there's some games that aren't that good, but you're still getting 4 games per month. Now, Xbox is sticking with that format. I don't think that they're going to change. I think that honestly they're going to announce more games coming to Game Pass. They're going to be announcing more games coming for the future with all their developers that they have purchased and that they have, you know, have under the Microsoft belt. I think the biggest thing, though, going forward is really showcasing what the Xbox 2 power is going to have, what it's going to showcase, what games possibly being announced on it, or for the future release dates for their big games. I think that's the biggest thing. So let's knock that out of the way. Second biggest thing, like I just said, was the games with Gold and the Game Pass. What is it going to come onto? Is it going to hit the Switch? Is it going to hit the, you know, the PC over and over, you know, and reach millions and millions of people? I think that they will. I think they're going to target cell phones, tablets, and the Switch, I think, is going to be, and the PC market's going to be, obviously, their top priorities. And that going forward, will the price change? I think they're going to talk a little bit about that. I think they're going to have some new games announcements that we've never heard of. I think there's going to be some games that people are wanting remastered, that being, and this is where I'll end the video in a roundup way, but Rare is going to be, I think, having a presence. And I say this with love to Rare. I've been very critical of Rare lately because I think that they've lost their touch. But with Xbox working with Nintendo, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, I still believe that Nintendo could help Xbox out with the Rare brand games, remasters, remakes, whatever you want to call them, that being Banjo-Kazooie remakes. And it would be obviously coming to the Switch as well if Nintendo helped. And then that being Banjo-Kazooie 3. And that would be like an Xbox/Nintendo exclusive. Maybe they'll bring it to PC. But if it's Xbox wanting to push their consoles or push their service, maybe they'll just leave that one on Game Pass for the PC people and make it physical only for, well, which PC's only digital, really. But, you know, people still buy the box carts for the digital codes inside. So I'm just saying, I honestly think if they keep it on their console, it'll be better for them. And then if they keep it for the Switch, that'll help the Switch out. And then in return, I've said this before, that Xbox helps Nintendo out with their streaming or their online service. Now, the other big things is that I want to see is like a new Perfect Dark. I want to see a new Conker's Bad Fur Day. I want to see some of these old titles be released. I want these games, if we're going to port or remaster some games, and I'll just throw a few out there, like Medieval, $30 for the PlayStation 4 is good. There's a lot of other games being remastered that I think a lot of people have liked. Especially the way graphics are nowadays, and especially the way our people are paying for their quality content. They want a game that they loved and adored, like a Conker's Bad Fur Day, or Banjo-Kazooie, or even a new Banjo-Kazooie 3 would be really cool. Or even Perfect Dark had a real big following. There's numerous games out there, but them working with Nintendo and Microsoft and then collabing together, I think is the best bet for both companies and for the consumers, because you're getting Nintendo back in with that company that really loved Nintendo, and Nintendo, you know, had the same feeling towards Rare. So that going forward, to end the video, I think E3's hopefully going to be good things this year. Last year was kind of just, they showcased some new games that were coming to multiple platforms. They were the first ones to show, you know, the world premieres and all this. But to me, it was like, okay, well, just because it's a world premiere and it's on a platform, multiple plats, doesn't mean everybody's just going to buy it for the Xbox. But going forward recently, you know, the Xbox One X has had more games looking better on it. Now, I'm not saying everybody's just going to be like, but still, there's not a huge difference when it comes to major third-party games. There's a few out there that maybe run better or look a little bit better on the Xbox One X, but it's not enough to convince consumers to go out and buy a complete Xbox when they already have a PlayStation 4 or a PC. So that is where they have to break that barrier of, hey, you know, this is where the best place they're going to play. These are our new game lineups for the Xbox 2 with Halo Infinite, Fable 4, you got all these other games. And I say Xbox 2, but remember, if it's backwards compatible, you can still buy them on the Xbox One, roll them over, kind of like what the PlayStation 5 is going to be doing with the PSVR and the PlayStation 4. I think Xbox going forward is going to do some stuff like that. Also, the biggest news, I think, that's going to be mega. And I know I've said that this is the biggest news and this is the biggest, but I think the biggest news is they're going to do some kind of collaboration, I believe, and they're going to showcase some new companies that they purchased. That's just my opinion. Now, I think the collaboration is going to be a lot with Nintendo. Going forward, they're going to host something. I mean, Sony's not there. They might as well take advantage of this whole thing while they're there. Even Nintendo's there. I don't see Nintendo really like going on board, kind of like what they did with like Philips or what they did with Sony before they cut ties with them all. I see them just working together when it comes to some video games that they're both going to be on each platform, you know, whether it be multiple indie games like Cuphead and stuff like that, or whether it be like a newer franchise with an old remake name, like a Banjo-Kazooie 3 or Perfect Dark or Conker's Bad Fur Day. I know a lot of people really like them games, myself included. I wouldn't mind seeing Rare come back and really bring some games. And here's the thing. Conker's Bad Fur Day had some cool multiplayer. You could still make that an online multiplayer game. Banjo-Kazooie 3 would be more or less a storyline, but you could make an online speed run. And the other feature that we're talking about with Perfect Dark is that would be a pretty cool online, first person or even third person shooter. You can switch it up. That would be cool. I mean, you would still have the good story modes and online to go with that. So I think a lot of these games, and with Nintendo's tender loving care, because they make really good first-party exclusives, they could really have a hand and a say and say, hey, this is what would work good not only on your console, but on the Switch. So a lot of the stuff's going forward. I think Microsoft's really got their foot in the door when it comes to next gen. If they can beat out Sony when it comes to announcements and get people excited about the brand. Now, that's the whole trick, is they got to get excited, get consumers, investors excited about the actual brand Xbox, not Microsoft. Not all their software, and yes, Game Pass is nice, but I mean, if somebody can just play all them games on a cell phone, you're not going to sell any hardware next year. And if people can play all these games better on a PC, it's going to be hard to sell the Anaconda when somebody else can just play it off their PC. So they're really going to have to dig deep, really going to have to give some exclusive features possibly with the Anaconda or the Scarlet or something. And they're really going to have to push some software games and really promise and not break them, Phil Spencer, about what they're going to release and when they're going to release it, and not make it out to be something bigger than what it is, like a Crackdown 3 or a State of Decay 2 or a Sea of Thieves. And you get so excited and you get the game and you're like, wow, it's nothing like you said. And the other feature is they really just need to keep pushing towards this consumer-friendly market. Now, I understand making games would be the first part and not really worried about hardware consoles. That's why I talked about the streaming box. But going forward, I think if they're really trying to do this with the blind controllers, you know, helping the blind people see with the Braille, I think is what it's called. And then you got the disability controllers. You're trying to reach more people. You got your streaming services with Xbox Cloud possibly coming. Obviously, that's going to be big. And then your Game Pass and all this other stuff. So a lot of good things are going Xbox's way. I think in the future, streaming services will be the main thing to go to in the future. And we're talking 5 to 10 to 15 years from now. But that's cool to see because there's a lot of companies out there that are obviously going to be competing, like Google and PlayStation, Nintendo, for years to come. So it's good to see Xbox really pushing this product, and I want to see them actually do good. I don't want them to be lackluster. I don't want it to be, dead in the water when they get out there on stage, and I don't want them to announce something that's just going to be piss poor or make fans think, oh my God, this is like the PS3 where it's going to be expensive, $600. So that is what I believe at E3, what's going to happen. There's going to be obviously little things that I didn't mention that's going to show up, that's going to shock us all and surprise us all. Hopefully it won't get spoiled like 2 or 3 days before E3. That's why I used to make videos last year that said E3 is not really a big deal because it's always getting, you know, leaked and stuff. So if we can keep that under wraps, I think it makes better for a fan experience, consumer experience. And boy, with the internet and social media, you know, it's crazy today. It's crazy out there because everything gets leaked accidentally. There's so many damn, you know, rules and stuff that people break when they have games and stuff like that as well. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think about E3 coming up for the Xbox brand. Let me know what you guys think that Microsoft or Xbox as a whole needs to do. Will they obviously implement you know, new games and systems? I want to know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. And if you guys are new to this channel and you like unbiased opinions and you guys just like somebody that's real, honest, and loves video games for what they are and not really into this console competitive war arguments, I will debate, I will rant, and I will rave when it needs to be, mostly towards companies that need to change for us, because we are the ones that matter. We're the ones that come first, consumers, the gamers, the people that spend their hard-earned money to support these developers, these console creators. So in the long run, guys, you know, long story short, I love video games. I love talking to you guys. I love making these videos, and I love being passionate. Yes, the quality's not always there. I love video games. I love talking about companies and games and consoles and PC and all that stuff to keep you guys in the loop and also, you know, get people excited, because I think honestly in the long run, you know, E3 still is fun. It's just kind of dying out. So I think with social media and the way streaming services go, I think this may be one of the last few E3s. Obviously, they're going to have a few more, but like, it's starting to die out. Companies are starting to pull, and I just hope that Xbox really takes this platform, you know, with Sony not being there and really running with it. If not, we can just see another lackluster console generation possibly coming. So they really need to take this and run with it. But like I said, I want to know what you guys think. I love you very much. Do a good deed. Make sure you share this video, like this video, and if you don't like the video, hit the thumbs up, but let me know what you didn't like about the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. I love you. Peace. Take care, stay safe, and do a good deed.